Good afternoon. Good afternoon, peeps. The final day of February 2024 left to the what's that word? I don't know. The Stephen King movie. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Bookmap stream. I wish that was what you think it is, but unfortunately, it's just a LaCroix, a La Croix. Crazy, crazy day, man. Big sell-off, a lot of chop, a lot of nasty wicks, and a little bit of a move back up. I'll be honest with you. I've got all of my prop firms closed, locked in profit. I've got my brokerages closed. I'm going to open up one of my props right now just in case it moves. I could join with you all. But the overarching theme here, both on ES and NASDAQ, is upside liquidity. They had a big upside liquidity at 5,100 twice. They had it this morning. They filled it. They put it on again after they filled it, and then they took it off and then dumped everything back down. And now they've got it back on, 5097 and 5100. And this is turning out to be a low probability day. A low probability day. When you put a new low of the day in, bounce back up and attack the high of the day, that is a low probability day. And when I see that stuff happening, no bueno. What's up, Trading Lounge? What's up, Jesse? Hope you're doing well. Miss hearing your voice. Unfortunately, I don't trade just enough to justify a Discord membership. That's okay. I appreciate you hanging out with us, Jesse, here on the tube of you. Good afternoon, Tire Smoke. Hopefully you're burning that rubber, baby. Burning that rubber. 18,030 on NASDAQ, climbing, and we have recovered about 170 points of the big dip. ES is up 22 points, not quite as sexy sounding, but there it is. And VIX, of course, is down to 1344. It's been an absolute grinder of a week. An absolute grinder of a week. This is one of those weeks that I want to forget about and enjoy the weekend in terms of absolute mental strain. Some weeks are easier than others, man. Some weeks you put on a position and it works out. Gravy chain with biscuit wheels, and some weeks it's an absolute test of your abilities and your emotional state. So, yeah. And I can't even console myself this weekend with Taco Bell either after the week's over, because I've got to start 75 hard like a freaking jabroni that I am. Glad to hear I'm not the only one. Yeah. 18,026. ES is up to 5097. Looks like all but certain that they'll tap this 97 here. Yeah, buddy. What is 75 hard? It's 75 days of discipline, 75 days of 2 45-minute workouts a day, a strict diet with not one single cheat meal in 75 days, reading 10 pages of nonfiction every day, drinking a gallon of water every day. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Is real taco still bad? I guess if you do it right, you can. I'm sure there's a way you can do it where it's not terrible. All the saturated fats and whatnot. Ice bath's nice, even more. Green is still coming up 5092. Like I said, I just signed on. I've had everything closed, so I'm not going to long into 5097 here, try to chase the top. But we'll kind of track the liquidity shifting here. Nice V recovery. This is the last day of February. Last day of the month typically tends to be a little shaky. Apple's is recovering hard. So the biggest changer of the day so far is Apple. Apple was down all morning long, getting smoked. Even the options flow was strong selling. But they are starting to put on some upflows here. VIX has rolled back off, but they've been up and down. TLT is coming off. They've been rocket ships all day. And if you saw the TLT start to beat, I meant not TLT, if you saw PCE beat this morning, then TLT would have been a freaking rocket ship. TLT probably would have been over 95, 96. But since it came in line, it's a little bit of hope there, and TLT's bouncing up. That's why you see the upside with a PCE posting such as today. Is that PCE may have not popped officially hot, but it still kind of just met the expectations there. And that's how that data reacts. What do you think about SPX 5090 calls? Not a good idea given the low probability day. Well, I mean, if there is a day to chase a move like that, I mean, I guess it could be today. The problem is that two things. One, there's not any liquidity above 5097. And 5100 was the overnight little pivot anyway. And 2, we have the SPX imbalance at 5085. So we've got to get through that stuff. Like I said, I'm not really willing to chase this move up right here because it is such a low probability day after a very aggressive week. So, yeah, outside of some lottos, if you want to put on a lotto, I don't mind that at all. But I'm not going to put on a real position up here. It's just not a good play for me. I'm all about probabilities. And right now, I just don't have it. CVD is still 13,000, despite this huge move up. It's only gone from negative 17,000 to negative 13, so it's only trimmed a little bit of the selling pressure here. So I need to see a little bit more, either way. Plus, I've already locked in my profit. I nabbed 173% on puts. Made a couple $100 each on my funded accounts. So yeah. What's fun though is that I've got 2 funded accounts right now. One of them is a 50K and one of them is a 100K. So the 100K is obviously, it's double the profits of the 50K because of the proportional trade feature I've got. So it's nice. I never even looked at it. I just looked at, my parent account is the 50K. The child account is the 100K. So my 100K profits are double, and I don't even ever see it. I don't ever see it. I only see the 50K, so it's nice. It's nice. You're welcome, Jesse. Jesse! We have to make meth. I'm sure Bookmap doesn't like that. Apple 180.36. 5083 on SPX. Let's go take a look at the daily. Nastiness. Absolute nastiness on the daily chart. Look at this daily chart. Look at this daily chart. It's preposterous. Disgusting. Right there. Red or blue. Red, blue, red, blue. Or green for other people. Blue, red, blue, red, blue. Absolutely horrendous. So this weekly close, today and tomorrow's candle, will be quite interesting. Going into a traditionally bearish time frame with banks on the chopping block, with seemingly no selling pressure for the past 4 months. It'll be an interesting week. How to use the proportioned feature, trade copier. A-firm. Yep. So it really only works if you have multiple accounts with different sizing. So I set it up where it's proportion to the account size. So if you've got a mixture of like 50K, 100K, 250K accounts, it'll trade in proportion to the account size. For example, if I take 1 NASDAQ on my 50K, it'll automatically take 2 NASDAQ on the 100K, so on and so forth. And you never even have to look at the big position sizing, so it controls your emotions. You trade off the small account. You never even have to see the position size on the bigger accounts. It works pretty well, controls your emotions, and allows you to get that extra profit for the bigger accounts, which I think is a win-win scenario. That's why I get the bigger accounts, so I could build up more money and take it out. Oh, man. Jabroni. Let's take a look at NASDAQ daily chart. Back and forth. I need to do that, and I need to do that. There we go. So why is it, might I ask you, but Tier 2 should know this already, why is it that ES's chart, despite NVIDIA going through the roof, why is ES's chart far higher relative to their prior pivot, you see this right here, than NASDAQ? NASDAQ is still dealing with this down here. It's because, of this, XLF. The banks have been rocketing into March, which is, again, traditionally bearish. JP Morgan, mainly, of the banks, has been absolutely crazy. Look at this. The banks have been rocketing in this supposedly restrictionary environment since October. It's putting on an NVIDIA type of move because of JP Morgan. And then what did JP Morgan CEO do? Dump tons of shares. So watch XLF into March. My opinion. Right now, the algorithms are purely set to buy on the upside. I will, yeah, thanks. Let's see. Bookmap 15 live. There you go. I have a 25K and a 50K. I'll start using that. It's awesome. There you go. I like it. Man, what a move this is. $50.94 and climbing. NASDAQ is 18.040 off of the POC. And just buyers biting it up, baby. Trader J, you still holding your long? Trader J caught a long at the low. I wonder if he's still holding that thing. It's incredible. Fantastic move. 1804. $18.039 coming up. Oh, Yacht Flyer. Yacht Flyer. You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. Why can't sellers keep momentum? Thoughts? I mean, nobody can keep momentum. I mean, look at the daily chart. We've been here since, I mean, NASDAQ's been here since February 9th. So right now it's neck and neck. But yeah, right now, because a move such as this, and knowing what we know about volume price analysis, a move such as this is not going to be able to just go, meh, despite the short seller's wishes. It's not just going to go up and then down. It's got to absorb. It's got to fake people out. It's got to get the market will not drop until bears capitulate. That's the way the market moves. Is that the market will not go down if the generalized market is not. I want to avoid saying retail because it's not just retail. When the general market stops shorting, when the general market capitulates the downside, only then will we short. Only then will the market go down. So basically, stop buying puts, stop shorting, and the market will go down. So to stop this kind of momentum, I am looking for what's called a selling climax. It's where we transact into some level up here. That's supply. That's an egregious amount of sell orders. We'll tap that. We'll have a top wick, and we'll get a high volume spike down here. We'll have a candle somewhere up here that's red. It'll look like this. It'll look like that. And we'll start to fall. I thought we might start getting it this morning. That was a nice little dump. It usually happens off of a huge upside in pre-market like we had, and it starts selling throughout the day and goes. But today, as it is a low probability day. Today's chart usually only happens 2 to 3% of the time. It's just a very low probability day, which is why I signed off when I started to see this happening, because I knew that I'd probably try to short this knowing that, and I would probably get clobbered. So I took my profits and ran when I caught the downside. Why can't sellers earn into that? And what do you think they'll have their big day? I don't know. I think it's a fool's errand to try to predict that. I would say it's sometime in March. It'll be sometime early March that we start that, but who knows, man? This is a historic run, and historic runs usually don't stop when you think they are. $18.037. Coming up to yesterday morning's high and this morning's stuff, which is, I'll put that here. And there. That's the morning's low. That's the range. There's no other volume signals now except for buy. Just everything's just algorithmic up. This is algorithmic pricing up. Just bid it up. Bid it up. Right now. Nice info, thanks. I'm $200 away from my first payout on PA. Nice. I was a member of Discord for a year, and I got to say thanks. I learned a lot from your members of Discord. Nice, Tristan. Well, I appreciate you being here, man. One of the few that do it right. Well, thank you. I try to keep things level-headed and educational, so I appreciate that. I'm glad you're finally finding some success and about to get that money. Don't trip trying to stretch it out over that finish line. It's like a sprinter finally leading the race, about to cross the line, and he stretches it to make it and trips and falls. Don't do that. Nice and easy. The volume today started out pretty dang strong and then dissipated. We'll see what happens into power. It looks like it'll be a spicy power hour. I don't think we have too much tomorrow in terms of catalysts. No, I was wrong. We got a whole bunch tomorrow. We have a whole bunch. We have S&P Global Manufacturing. We have construction spending. And judging by the prices, that should be egregiously high. ISM Manufacturing, Michigan 1 year. FOMC member Bostic, Fed Waller, Atlanta GDP, and etc., etc. How do I chart ES on TradingView? What symbol do I search for? I want to start trading the micro. /ES for ES and /MES for micros. And then what you'll do is just, you can select the forward-looking contract, and it'll put the forward-most contract up front. So when we roll, it'll go ahead and auto-roll for you. Like when we roll to June contracts, it'll auto-roll for you. 3 MES only. I love it. That's the way to do it. Turn away from the dark side. The minis are the dark side. Something dark side. There you go. So the 1 exclamation will be the forward-most contract. You see where it says MES 1 exclamation mark? That'll be the forward-most contract. So now it'll be March. 2 exclamation mark is the second closest. So that'll be June. If you want to select the specific contract, then go ahead and select MESH 2024. M is June, U is September, Z is December, so on and so forth. The reason why I use the 1 exclamation and not the specific contract is for past price action. I want to be able to have all the collective past price action of all the futures. So, good stuff. In Bookmap, what do we got? Bookmap, nothing on NASDAQ here. ES is still dealing with 5097, 5100. This was been on all pre-market. Down south, we still have all this stuff. 5065, 5045. It's been off and on all week. We filled it multiple times. We have 4900. Let's see if the waste this stuff is still on. 49, and then this cat is still on here as well. This guy's been on there for 2-3 weeks. 4775. We still have this stuff on here, and we even have exposure down into the 4500s and 4400s. And that's it. I don't think there's much else down here. Yeah, that's it. There you go. 47. That's the main one down. The biggest level on the day, or on the chart. What a day! That's our Holy Trinity. It's crazy. So it's been a very choppy week, man, on the daily chart, back and forth. I guess I should ping people. Some people didn't even know we're on. There we go. 5094. All right. Coming up to 95. Apple's starting to break out here as well. They're going up, and that's, like I said, that's been the biggest change of the day. Apple's recovery has been the biggest changer of the day. Amazon is flagging. Amazon barely even get anything back. They're flagging up at 175. Nvidia's recovery. Google's recovering. Meta, Tesla starting to recover. XLF is hanging out. Amazon's been sideways for a bunch. They put on 50.95. Look at this guy spoofing on and off. 1, 2. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times off and on. And he's on for about 1,000. 50.95. He's on for about 1,000. Doing it yesterday too. Yeah. Seeing if we can grab that guy. Let's only talk about 2 or 3 points here. Let's see, we got 94, we got 96. It is 12.23. Maybe 0.37 will be our next bumping spot. Possibly. Possibly. NASDAQ is bottom wicking. A little bit of red coming off, point or two. Large red. 18.027. Repelling this liquidity once again. Right here. Bottom wicking, of course. What we've been seeing all day. Very slow. Very slow. $50.91 still dropping. Still dropping. Alrighty. Well, the overarching theme here is still looking for an attack on 50.95 here. This cat is off and on. And still not great for me to want to long this stuff up here. It's just not enough risk reward. But I'll tell you this, if you want to scalp something, wait for them to come up and attack this thing again, hold it, and once they hold it, you'll see that big green bubble blast, and will probably just come pop from 50.92 to 97, little 5-pointer here. In order to overcome this level, that's what will happen. They'll ping it, ping it, ping it, ping it, stick to it, grub green bubble, and then we'll pop through to about 50.97, 50.95, somewhere in there. If you want to scalp. If not, we're not talking about too much here. Not talking about too much here. Double bottom wicks on NASDAQ. Watch it. So we've got about, 1,000 there. Up to 5,100. CBD still slowly trickling off. Slowly trickling off. Do these type of sessions, do you go over the technicals of Bookmap? Yeah. So that's what I try to talk through. Like right here, for example, you're going to see a big green bubble, absorption, flap, blast just like that, and right up to about 40.95 to 40.97. There's the big absorption there. volume spike to transact the orders, and a little pop-a-roni. And a little pop-a-roni to 50.97. See? Up to 95. Next on deck is going to be 97. That's just a little scalp, though. If you want to do a scalp like this, it's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it. In my opinion, I've been able to make a decent amount of money with this garbage dumpster fire of price action this week. And this week, it's not always this way, but this week I attribute 90% of that success to Bookmap. It's been phenomenal. Liquidity zones have been on point. That type of stuff right there gets me 5 to 10 points every time, monitoring that price action. When I see this spoofing come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 1,000 orders, I just wait for it to stick, and then big green bubble, blast, and we just tapped right up against 50.97, right up against it. So having this tool really helps you get through the crap of the market. When the market's clear, it's great. Your system works. You don't really need much except price action. But when the market is doing crap, bouncing back and forth and being a butt, you need a good tool for tracking order flow, and like that's what Bookmap does. So that stuff right there really helps me. And look, they put it right on back on too. So we're not done yet. They just finished 50.95, filled it, blasted, and now they put it right back on. You sound like a lot like Trading Initiative. I don't know that one. I don't know that one. I only do scalps. There you go. I mean, honestly, right there, for example, if you want to scalp, what is that, 5 points on ES? That would have got you $250. That's all you need. If you can use Bookmap to be patient enough to wait for that kind of stuff, that's really all you need. Obviously, catching the big move on the bottom would have been beautiful. Very consistent. Love it. Love it. And then after this, if this is just basic Bookmap. If you tie in the MBO package, stops and icebergs, then now you've got a great tool. Today we haven't really had many icebergs to speak of. A couple of small ones here and there. Yesterday we had a big one right at the bell, but they're fantastic. Green candles, baby. Absorbing this warrior. Watch this. 50.95. See this? About 800 orders or so transacted. I've heard a couple of different traders say it's better to watch ES Bookmap versus NASDAQ. Would you agree with that? I personally mainly track ES. There's not much to go off of with NASDAQ because the liquidity is so low relative to ES. And it's not low because it's undertraded. It's low because the notional is so large, there's just not a lot of product there. You're talking about substantially higher notional than ES. So ES has got a lot more liquidity. ES obviously is the S&P. So I personally track ES more, but I keep a close eye on both. But in terms of directionality and understanding market movement, yes, all my analysis really comes from ES. Do I have a discount for Bookmap? I do have an affiliate code. Depending on which product you choose, you will get money off. It's not all of them, but a lot of them. Here, I'll give that for you. I'll get that for you to sign up for it. It's good stuff. I only really recommend one trading-related product, and that's Bookmap. There's a whole bunch of other stuff out there that you could get, but it's all speculative, and it doesn't drive an edge if you don't understand order flow, and that's Bookmap is one of them. So there you go. Thanks for answering. Appreciate it. You're welcome, Eileen. Still going 50.95, looking for 50.97. 5096. Can't use Bookmap on work computer? Yeah. Bummer. 5096. $15.95 there. To be honest, you are the person who opened my eyes to market mechanics. Very cool. I'm a very pragmatic person. I am myself as well. And you just opened the door for me at trading simply using mechanics and law of physics. So beautiful, Art. Thank you. Yeah, it's a huge compliment because I myself am pragmatic when it's stuff. I need to know why, and that's it. I don't need to know all the bells and whistles. I just need to know the whys of the market. And sometimes you can't, but for me, order flow, understanding order flow mechanics, auction theory, and then of course level 2 is beautiful. So I'm glad to hear it. Do you have a discount for Bookmap? Yeah, so that link right there will get you off a bunch of money depending on which product you select. Obviously, not all of them, but yeah, a lot of them. I think 50% off the yearly, I believe, and a couple other things. Oh, thanks, John. Appreciate that. $15.95. Going for 97. They keep on stacking liquidity here, so I'd expect at least $15.97. I don't know about up here, but $15.97. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let's take a look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's the March 1st, Friday, and we're in the month of spring, baby. I count down the days of winter. Can't wait for some springtime. Plant the garden. Doing bees this year. Can't wait to be stung 8 billion times. It's going to be great. March 1st. There is exposure all over the freaking place tomorrow. Where are we going at? 5150 would be interesting move. 5150, 5100. Huh. Still not moving. What are your thoughts about the NASDAQ going back up to all-time highs on only 100% or so? I mean, tech's been on a rally, man. What's interesting though, if you were to look at Apple though, Apple's selling off. If you look at under the hood of NASDAQ and what's going on here, one of the biggest names in the market is getting smoked right now. It's been getting smoked for 2 months. And which name is that? Apple. Apple's been on a very strong downtrend for 2 months in a row now. Microsoft hasn't moved since January. Amazon hasn't moved since early February. The only real thing that's been doing work is Nvidia. Nvidia has been straight up since, I don't know, 2 years ago. Google's been on a downtrend since January. Meta's been slowly creeping up a little bit, so slightly bullish. But literally the only bullish name on in the tech world right now is Nvidia. And I'll put Meta number 2. So that's the interesting thing, is that NASDAQ, yes, is creeping back up to all-time highs with most of its big names underperforming. Not only underperforming, but going down. So what does that mean? That means the flows of the option chain are phenomenal, mainly in NVIDIA. What, 25% of all activity is in NVIDIA's option chain? And what happens when NVIDIA takes profit? Which eventually it will. I mean, that's just eventually it will take profit and it'll be aggressive. I'm not going to say sell off, but it'll take profit, and that'll bring the NASDAQ down. Unless there's rotation back into other names, at which point it'll fluctuate, which is the whole point of an index. That's why indexes are so difficult to fall, because when one name sells, it rotates to another. It's just kind of the, keep spinning, keep the plate spinning. What's interesting though is although things are looking, weird, there's a big amount of pull at 5150 tomorrow for SPX. That'd be another 70 points though. Be crazy. As an exercise, I think I'm going to turn off all indicators tomorrow and just try VPA. Nice. I think that's a fantastic idea. In fact, I've done it myself. If you remember this one, I don't know if you do, Tug. Turn everything off, baby. Turn everything off. Oh, man. 2:30 Central Time. Interesting. Okay. Mester. My throat is smoked. My voice is smoked. Top wicking off this level. Pretty interesting level, huh? Yeah, you will, Tug. You will. You'll quickly realize that most of everything is noise. It's a distraction. A little turn up for Goog, Tesla, Apple will be moved back up quickly. How do we know how many true shorts are left that support a squeeze from here? I mean, that's the flip side of the coin. Buy exactly. Yes, I mean we're talking about Nvidia taking profit, but if it doesn't take profit quite yet and everything turns up, then we'll have one. It will have a blast off, yeah, and we'll probably attack 5,200. Absolutely. But you have to think about the logistics of the market. Think about the emotional nature of the bigger picture, not just me and you, but the whole market, the big money, the accounts with 10 zeros in them. They know that the music is going to stop soon. They know that we're playing musical chairs and the music's going to stop, and somebody's going to be left standing up. They know that when rate cuts start happening, all this is gone. The bonds are going to rally, the stocks are going to drop. So what are they going to do until then? Are they going to go ahead and sell this off now? No. Or are they going to continue to pump as much as they can into this market until the music does stop, or right before? That's the question. That's what I'm asking myself. That's the theory I'm thinking about, to try to quell any kind of bearish thesis going into the end of the year, because I am macro bearish, but that thesis could play out 2-3 years. But when do you continue to take calls on this move to go in ludicrous mode? I mean, we're already in ludicrous mode, but how far does this actually go? 5,200, 5,300, 5,500? Who knows? So, recently I've been putting put-call ratio into my regimen. It's worked out nicely. Played the sell-off, watched PCC go to 0.8 and bought calls. Nice. That's pretty cool. This guy's all over the place on this 1595. So you see this guy's slowly creeping in. 5105, 300. It's still quite small, but he's creeping in. Bitcoin ETF buying led by retail hedge funds. FAs, larger players still come. Bitwise. Interesting. Yeah, Bitcoin's been nuts, man. It's been nuts. So CVD continues to trickle. It's gone from 17,000 to 11.5 negative. So the buyers have done their job here, slowly building it back up. I feel bad for OM trying to make this interesting. I've been doing it all week, man. this crap has been nasty. That's the nature of it, man. We can't hit dingers every week. We can't have a banger every week. So this is the post Nvidia blues. We had the Nvidia euphoria last week, and this week it's just kind of nastiness. But I like to have conversations about theory. It's good stuff. I like hearing different perspectives and different thought processes. Apple's getting destroyed. Coming back down to lows of the day here. Anyone here use Thinkorswim? No, I don't. Can't find ES contracts to purchase. Try to use / if you're looking for it. I mean, I've never used Thinkorswim, but try to use / ES. Sometimes that does that. Do I use Bookmap for individual stocks? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Works very well for individual stocks as well. Liquidity down here at 18,000 again. 18,000 would be an interesting dump. Watch for the volatility uptick at the top of the hour. We will have to sign off then. That's my allotted time, but just take a look at the top of the hour, 18,000. If you had to choose between getting rid of Bookmap or TradingView, which one would you choose? Oh man, I mean, I don't know how I would trade without TradingView. Without the price action. I guess I could switch this to candles. I'm pretty sure you can switch this to candles and trade off of that, but I rely on candles too much. If there was a way to trade off of candles, I mean, I don't know. Those are two different tools. It's like, I don't know. It's like if I had a rifle and I was going hunting, it's like, would you rather give up the gun or the bullets? I mean, I can't. I guess I could club the animal with the gun, but I don't know. It's like, come here, you silly deer. 1803. Top wick. Analogies are on point. I try to have them. At least I'm winning with analogies today, huh? Club them, period. Oh my gosh. Oh man, 1803. Professionals, yeah. I love listening to you while I'm doing my own trading. You always drop golden nuggets of wisdom at random and try to keep us accountable for making stupid decisions. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for what you do on the daily. The one thing I'm not sure about, though, is what specific setups do you look for from a technical standpoint besides just a vague volume plus right technical explanation? Do you have a video I could watch based on your top setups concerning futures? My number one setup is the three candle reversal. Three candle reversal, which unfortunately has happened twice, and I took neither of them. On the low side at least. The upside I've taken them, but the low side. And what you get is the engulfing down. Like if we're going down, it would be the engulfing down, the bottom wick, and then the engulfing back up, followed by a volume. And the best example of that would be the 1140 candle today. That's my number one setup in terms of short-term trading. If you can identify those and trade only that, I mean, you could make a good amount of money a week because they usually play out. But scalping is a bit of an art. That's what makes it so difficult. You know, there's a lot there. The longer in time frame trades you get, the more scientific things are, the more technical things are. The shorter you get, that's more experience art driven. 5 minute, Sir Whiffington. Yeah. Passed 3 evals today, rounding my PAs to 10. Nice, Ben. Beautiful. I've got 18 accounts that are doing well, and I only traded 10 of them today, though. Actually, technically, 8 of them. I traded 8 of them, and 2 of them were funded, so 10 accounts total. I traded 8, and then 2 funded. Yeah, funders do. I got 2 funded accounts that are up. One's up over 1,000, and one's up over 1,500. So, doing well myself. What was your entry for the sell-off this morning? I entered a put. Let's go ES, because I was watching ES. I entered a put right about here. Right about here. I have multiple accounts. I've got 50K accounts, 100K accounts, and 250 accounts. And the reason being is because we had a base right here. And the market was doing this thing where sellers kept on hitting. One hit, and then one hit, and then down we go. So I thought once this failed that we were going to breach. Primarily because we studied this exact thing on our Tier 2 call this morning. This is the exact setup we discussed. And, you know, the trading gods were good to me, and they literally handed me the textbook exact live example of what we studied this morning. And down we went. If I saw this, I would not have shorted this area because I just expect a bounce. But the fact that the bounces were getting smaller and smaller, bam, 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 I knew the sellers were going to overcome. Well, I didn't know, but I was gunning for the fact that the sellers were going to overcome. Obviously, you don't know, otherwise I'd be a trillionaire. Oh, man. Back up. I apologize for the price action being so boring for the past hour. But it's just another, this is just a slightly more volatile version of every day this week. I haven't listened to Alice in Chains all day today, though, so that's a win. It's all my fault. Yeah. How could I? Would you rather have been gifted $50 million 10 years ago or have done life exactly how you have done it? I mean, financially, give me $50 million 10 years ago. Knowing what I know now, 100%. I mean, from a family standpoint, everything else, no, absolutely not. I'm pretty dang blessed in my life. Not even talking about financials. So, I've got an awesome family. 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 I've got So yeah, I was saved in the last 10 years. I was not a Christian up until 2019. I was actually a pretty devout atheist until about 2019. Yep, yep. I was a non-believer. Not only was I a non-believer, I was very critical. I was very critical of people that believed. When did I become rich? I mean, I'm not rich now, depending on who you ask. I don't like to use that word, man. You know, you know what's rich to me? Right now, when I walk in the door, my daughter stops what she's doing and she runs to me and gives me a hug every single time. Whenever she sees me in a crowd, like when I'm at school, she smiles the second she sees me. That's to me is rich. When that stops happening, I've lost everything. But my finances turned the corner 2020. I was doing pretty well, don't get me wrong. I had multiple rental properties, but I wasn't really like, I wasn't yet where I was satisfied. I'm not even satisfied now, honestly. Um, but the rally in 2020 is what put me on the next level. The 2020 recovery is what put me on the next level. So I guess you could say 2020. What made me change my mind? You talking about religion? Yeah, we'll have that conversation another day. I'm about to stop off here. I'll gladly tell that story, but I'll hold off for now. 18040. Just because I'm gonna have to sign off here in 3 minutes. So I was the same way myself. Came back to Christianity in 2021. Met my wife. Nice. Go to the tier 3 sub level. Yeah. Absolutely, Kennedy. 1804 sideways. Apple's coming up 180. ES is 5095. Anyway, the only real good opportunity for a decent scalp there, in my opinion, was the first little breakout into 50-40-95, which is right here. This, and in terms of how I apply Bookmap, this one here was the only actionable trade for me. The ping, 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 big green volume, and blast up and absorb this liquidity. Outside of that, yeah, if you wanted to scalp up and down, pretty tight price action. Even NASDAQ is tight. Just not much going on at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see a good amount of movement in the last hour and a half. So, oh man. Any final questions before we hop off here in the next couple minutes? Top of the hour. A little bit more green here. I would be careful placing a trade right before the top of the hour. Man. So in our local community, we've had a kid vanish. Sunday night, this kid just up and vanished in the middle of the night. His family has no idea where he is. He's a 13-year-old kid. 10-year-old kid? 10-year-old kid. 13-year-old kid. I don't know. I have to look it up. Completely vanished, and they have no traces of this kid. It's nuts. They're still looking for him. Would you expect all-time highs today? No. No, I would not. Am I getting on Discord? Nah. No. I hate sitting here waiting. You know, I don't want to stream for 3 hours to catch 10 minutes of volatility. You know, that's the thing. I'd rather use my time wisely. Yeah, I agree, Art. I completely agree. Outside of some like small YOLOs and stuff like that, I completely agree. Is that power hour normally is not technically sound. So I'm telling you, today's a fantastic day to just kind of hit the old dusty trail and come back in the morning. This whole week has been a hands-off week for the most part. It's terrible. Unless you want to catch the outlier moves every now and then, yeah. RTY. $50.96 here. Still looking for $50.97. I just realized it's Thursday. There you go. I'm starting to be able to apply VPA on the 5-15 hourly charts, but I have a hard time understanding how larger time frames could absorb news data, like a weekly or daily. Well, the first thing about those news events is knowing that they're simply liquidity. Like today. Today's a perfect example. We had a huge green action and then immediately dumps. Immediately dumps. Did PCE tell us something we don't already know? No. But people were positioned for protection. The data comes in with no risk. The positions roll off and we rock it. And then immediately when the market opens, we dump again. All the way back over. Nearly fill the entire move. And now it's back to our regularly scheduled programming. Slow grinding moves followed by about 10 minutes of volatility, followed by another 2 hours of grinding. So all that stuff is liquidity positioning, which is why most of the time I don't encourage anyone to trade that stuff, aside from 1 micro or something. It's all about putting on positions for protection. The event occurs, the unknown now becomes known, and then the positions roll off the books. And you have these big flows. That's why the price action seems to go and never stop on moves like that, because all those positions roll off. So there. All right, there's the top of the hour. Unfortunately, that will finish up our time here with Bookmap. If you're not in the community, then I will see you all back here. Excuse me, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, hope you have a fantastic day. Again, don't get chopped up, and certainly don't sit here for the next 2 hours trying to hope for 10 minutes of volatility. There's much better things you could do. So yeah, have a good rest of the day, and I most likely will see everyone else bright and early tomorrow morning, 09:30, to kick off another great day and another great month, and to finish up this quarter. So until next time, I'm out. See ya.